Thing has already caused a lot of talk before it has opened. About 2 weeks ago, something very unusual happened to me. I began getting postcards at my newspaper office from readers telling me that John Carpenter's new movie, I guess they'd seen it in a preview, was one of the most disgusting films ever made. Well, those postcard writers certainly were right about one thing. The movie The Thing does contain a lot of repellent special effects, telling the story of a creature that is discovered in the Antarctic by a team of American scientists. Here, the scientists expect the damage that the mysterious thing did at another scientific installation.
We found this.
Blair, I'd like you to start an autopsy right away.
The Thing is based on the same book that was used in a 1952 movie, also called The Thing, and there is a similarity between the two films, with both having the subtext of a Cold War mentality, suspicion of strangers. This part of The Thing is not disgusting at all, I think. Actually, it's quite intriguing, especially in this scene where the scientists begin to doubt each other, wondering who among them has been infected by The Thing, which turns you into a monster that looks exactly like yourself.
I know I'm human. And if you were all these things, then you'd just attack me right now. So some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to. But it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won. There's a storm hitting us in 6 hours. We're gonna find out who's who. All right, Doc, Gary, and Clark, move over there away from the others. Norris, you and Childs, shoot him up with morphine. Tie him down in the rec room and watch him. Fuchs, you start working on a new tap.
I need Doc's help.
Yeah, you don't want to drug me. Mac, I'm not a prisoner.
Later, there's a terrific blood test where they try and check out who is human, who is not. I wish this movie were less ugly than it is, because in terms of storytelling and suspense, and that subtext of suspicion of one's fellow man, this is actually a very well-made movie. But at regular intervals, no doubt about it, it does gross one out. So, a mixed review for The Thing from me. I'm going to recommend it, but serve notice that a lot of people who see it will be made sick by it.
I think that's probably an understatement. I would call this the barf bag movie of July. I have some problems with it. One of them is, I think, the characters. They're not made into three-dimensional people. Their function is to walk down the corridor and be jumped on. The other thing is plausibility. Once they figure out that this thing can turn into one of them, they ought to institute a watertight buddy system, but instead they have all kinds of loopholes. People walk out into the snow, come back with a grin on their face, so that the story is totally implausible, and the movie just basically is an excuse for this very gruesome and repellent creature to gross us out. It is the most nauseating thing I've ever seen on a movie screen, I think.
That's quite a statement.
I think I'll stand behind it.
Yeah, I think that the movie for me, though, isn't about those characters as individual people. I think that's why they can be interchangeable. I think that it's about how a society, this little group here, wants to poison, they think something's going wrong, you're not in the group, you're out, move, just that line, move away to one side. It's a very chilling thing. And I think if you read the movie in that way, then the implausibilities at your level mean very little. And so you sit there wishing, and I do wish, that it were a lot cleaner.
Well, I think, Gene, though, that I've got news for you, and that is that 99% of the people who go to see this movie are there to see the monsters, and very few of them are going to read it as your kind of allegory of McCarthyism.
That we will see. Let's enough go on The Thing, and we'll move on The Thing. Roger, as you can remember, was appalled by the monsters in the film. He calls it a geek show. I didn't enjoy looking at the monsters either, but I did find it to be an interesting element in the movie, the element of suspicion of something rotten in one's fellow man. So a reluctant, but yes vote for mine.
That thing's alive, sir. I saw it. I shot it. I hit it. I know it. Nothing happened. It just kept coming at me, making a noise like a cat mewing. Captain, it was awful. You could have seen those hands and those eyes. Captain, you've got to do something about it. You've got...
Is it human or inhuman? Earthly or unearthly? Baffling questions, astounding questions that not even the world's greatest scientific minds can answer.
Gentlemen, do you realize what we've found? A being from another world, as different from us as one pole from the other. If we can only communicate with it.
See? What happened, Doctor?
In the greenhouse, I was working. I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Then a blast of cold air, and I heard Olson scream.
Come here. Get in the corner. Now hold this in front of you. Stay by the light switch.
1.9. Needles hit the top.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live. Inside. Where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can beat one of those things!
Toronto, Cannes, Berlin, and Sundance, everybody chat about good movies, chat about good movies, chat about good movies, good movies, good movies. Welcome everybody to another Saturday here on the Lord Goo stream. It's the Good Movie Chat About, where we have good chats about good movies, sometimes with good guests, sometimes Deborah from Twitch just comes out for my guests. No more on that, but unfortunately we wish the best to ADHD MD. They had to drop out. Hello, take an ad break, please. Hello, Spanker Prime. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's a very big week. I've had a rough week, to be honest. If any of you follow my wife, our cat's got some crap going on. So yeah, do I have to do a blood test on stream? That's a good thought. I don't have a blowtorch, though. Did you all know Actually, this is great. I'm going solo, so hang on. I submitted it to Luke's Discord, and I'm gonna show it on stream here. You can actually sell a full fucking flamethrower on TikTok Shop. I don't know if you all are aware of this. Let's see. Okay, yeah, perfect. All right. So this is on the TikTok. There's a TikTok Shop link here. Sorry, the cropping is all insane because it's not cropped for TikTok. But get ready, everybody. This is what you can buy and sell, I guess, or whatever. Have a affiliate link for or whatever on TikTok. It's a lightsaber, but what?
It's fucking sick, dude. Like, what? Literally a lightsaber in real life. You can adjust the flame size on it right here. Grab one of these either as a gift or for yourself. So freaking sick. They have different styles to choose from as well. I'll have them linked to the orange.
I just don't feel like we should be selling these on the open market. Am I being a scold about that? I don't know. But if I had one of those, I would do the Thing blood test. Now I'm very excited to talk about The Things, both of them. I think they're both really interesting, cool movies, worth watching. One is a little bit better and more classic. Stay tuned to find out which one. Oh man, if I had the fucking lightsaber flamethrower to hit the bomb, it's like but it's like so huge. You'd like melt the glass. You'd start glass blowing because it's like a huge blue flame. Anyway, this has been quite a week in my movie watching. I guess. I should say, actually, I'll say right up top. Tomorrow. I mean, I was trying to be like, this is a great week. I mean, it is still, this is going to hopefully be a good show. We'll see. Kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this one, but maybe that'll make for a fun energy and a great episode. But tomorrow is the main event of this weekend. No offense to this episode of Good Movie Chat About that you're watching right now, and you should stay tuned. But tomorrow, 6 p.m., this same time, I won't be here. I mean, my body will be here, but I'm going to be taking a nap in the back of my brain while, of course, the ghost of Vincent Price inhabits my body and talks through me and hosts a double feature where he will be joined by the great Big Howell. Who better to watch a movie with than Mr. Movies? Oh, thank you, Emilio. I'm glad that he's charming. I'm happy that the Afterlife agency I work with for these possessions, they seem to be fairly happy. You know, now we've done 2. And Vincent wasn't pleased with the quality of the movies after the first one. He liked one, he really hated another, and I have to say I was watching too, and I hated I too hated The Wizard of Speed and Time. Fuck that movie and fuck Mike Jitlov. But ever since then, we've figured out a sort of a hack to keep Vincent happy, is that we have at least one of the movies will feature Vincent now, and that's going forward. There will be at least Vincent in one of the movies, so no matter what, he's going to be happy to see himself. So that'll be good, and we'll always have some stories he can tell. Tomorrow, we're going to be watching Jekyll and Hyde, the musical starring David Hasselhoff. This is a recording of a filmed, a recording of a filmed production of Jekyll and Hyde, the musical by Frank Wildhorn, at least did the music, and oh boy, I'm really looking forward. Oh, Bingen, I hope he's come by. My old pal Bingen. Please drop by to watch with me and Howell. Frank Wildhorn is an interesting guy, so I really am excited to talk about the lyrics to some of these songs with Howell. Although, sorry, no, I won't be. Vincent will be. And it'll be the second time that I watch that on this stream. So I feel like I'm safe, and it's been on YouTube for 4 years. So that's my guideline for selecting these movies that we watch. Has it been on YouTube for a really long time? Also, there's something called the Vincent Price Film Archive or something like that is the account that I'm now subscribed to on YouTube that puts up full movies, and that's who put up the second thing we'll be watching tomorrow, which is the Shelley Duvall fairy tale theater of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, starring Elizabeth McGovern, the American woman from Downton Abbey, but it's from the 1980s, so she's really young, and the evil queen is, hey, Free Palestine, Vanessa Redgrave. We fucking love her. Legend upon legend. Recently watched an amazing video essay about her from a YouTuber I really fuck with who does great essays about film, Be Kind Rewind. She just did a really, really great video about Vanessa Redgrave's Oscar. Was very controversial acceptance speech. Really interesting video. I recommend that. But it also features Vincent Price as the magic mirror that the queen talks to in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It also features as one of the dwarfs. Well, first of all, like, all the dwarves were also Ewoks. Like, when I was going through their letterbox, like, every single one of them was like Return of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi. And I was like, yeah, these are all Ewoks. But also prominently featured Tony Cox, the fucking legend from Bad Santa, from Seinfeld. Just one of the legendary Little People actors. I mean, we fucking stan a king. And he was also in Return of the Jedi. So he counts when I say all of them were Ewoks. So I'm really excited for that double feature. Wanted to hype that a little bit up top here because, looking at, I'm just looking at my last week of what I've watched here. I guess he was. I mean, I assume it was an Ewok. I don't see what else he would be. But yeah, he does have Return of the Jedi in his, IMDb. Or Letterboxd, actually, was what I was looking at. Okay, so here's what I watched this week. The most recent thing I watched earlier today, for the first time, one of those classic put it off, never watched. And you know what? I feel like there's a lot of us. And shout out past guest of the stream, legend of movie. Speaking of Howl and watching movies with Howl, DB, for Remaketober on Your Kickstarter Sucks, my favorite podcast. Both JF, obviously, past guest, and helped with the Flight of the Falcon as well. Mike, past guest on the Cure episode. But the Remaketober this month has been so fun, his selection of movies, and American Movie was one that was like, I'd always wanted to watch it and just somehow never got around to it. And it sounded like that was the same for Chris and Brian from the Guys podcast, who were the guests. And I was surprised how much, I wasn't surprised, but I guess I just loved how much Jesse loved it as well. So that was really fun. And so it's great that Mike's inspiring people to finally watch this great fucking movie with the most lovable louvers. The most lovable louvers. Seriously, the most lovable losers I've ever seen in a movie. You gotta watch it, Emilio. I really think you will really love it. There's something just about... I just can't get enough of anything of, like, ragtag underdogs... just committed. It scratches the same itch for me as one of my favorite movies that actually I recently rewatched a bit, Ed Wood, which is just like a community of outsiders making something that isn't good, but like it means something to them to make it, and it's really special. And that in and of itself is valuable. So anyway, I really loved American Movie. I would say that's the best movie I watched this week, except maybe The Thing, 1982. if I'm looking at this list of what I've watched, but actually I did watch Bride of Chucky. That was a late night put it on, and I always have so much fun with those movies. Chucky, I think, is an underrated horror franchise. I really love Don Mancini's whole deal with those movies, and he has so much fun, and they get so weird and more fun. And Bride of Chucky is just starting on the path to that. And then Seed of Chucky, to me, is the apex of the franchise, where they really just get real weird with it, and Jennifer Tilly having a great time. What can go wrong? Okay, then we're at last week's double feature of Monster Club and Midnight Hour, which were both so much fun. Is there anybody here that watched either of those or both of those? Those were so, I know, Travel Scrabble, watch them both. Those were so fun. I was, like, blown away by how much I loved those. And Vincent did too. Vincent really loved them. I mean, obviously he was going to love Monster Club because he was in it. But even he's more like the sort of in between the stories part. He's not in the stories. So he still enjoyed getting to watch all of his friends like Donald Pleasance and stuff have fun in those little stories. Those were a lot of fun. And the Midnight Hour was a blast as well. So those were great last week. Then I watched The Thing, of course. I put it on really late at night too. I think I started it after midnight. And I was like being like, eventually I think I'll turn this off and then finish it tomorrow or something. Then I couldn't. I just watched the whole thing because it's really good. It's just really, really good. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. And then the next night I was like, well, let me throw on John Carpenter I've only seen once. And I know it's not very good, but I heard of the WNUF, I don't know that, Out There Halloween mega tape. Let me take a note of that and look into that later. But yes, I have not, but I will. We'll be looking into that. We'll be looking into that very strongly. More and more people are saying. Vampires. Bad movie. Shot well. Some really amazing, like, scenic shots and stuff. Not a good movie. Like, just a wall-to-wall unpleasant movie. It does have, Laura Palmer in it, and she's beautiful and wonderful, as she always is. Then I rewatched Cloud, which this I did watch over multiple nights, but I'd seen it earlier this year. I wanted to rewatch it. And I really do think that it is, like, right up there with One Battle After Another for, like, timely, relevant, darkly comic thriller of that feels just, like, right now, like, just like about the misery of living in right now in a really real palpable way. So Kiyoshi's just, that to me is, I think right now, my second favorite movie of the year, I believe right now, after One Battle After Another. I also think Eddington, of course, is doing sort of the same thing. There's a number of movies this year that are, I mean, Eddington's obviously a lot more obvious, and you could even say heavy-handed, I think purposefully so. Satire is always kind of heavy-handed. So there's these movies that are just doing that, and Cloud is great. Blink Twice, I hadn't seen. That was from last year. That was Zoe Kravitz's debut film. I didn't hate Zoe's direction. I didn't hate anything, really. I didn't think any of it was terrible. So it's basically the horror is like the Epstein Island horror, kind of. It's like what the movie is, like a version of that. And it's sort of interesting in how it presents like paradise as eventually a sort of trap, a sort of prison in and of itself. To be like, so fulfilled and have everything be so wonderful. And that's like sus. And that's interesting, like, as a thing. I loved the way that Zoe she like really highlighted color in a cool way, and the way that she brought color into it. And then there were some shots that were really well framed, and like there was good depth of scene and lots of stuff. And it had a Haley Joel Osment, who I always like to see. But yeah, it was just okay. It was okay. Maybe you'll like it. Your mileage may vary. Then last night I watched, and so this is the last thing because I already talked about American Movie. Last night I watched. This is a Hammer horror that I had not seen. That is their telling of Jekyll and Hyde, because I had also been sort of looking through, I was scrubbing through the Jekyll and Hyde, because I think the musical is like 2 hours, 13 minutes. Now, I'm trying to get that down to like, at least closer to 2. Like, maybe a little under 2 is where I'd like to get that for tomorrow. I'd like to have 3 hours of content to watch through. So yeah, that's, but I, you know, so I was just sort of watching through that, and I'm like, oh, let me watch like another Jekyll and Hyde. And this one is sort of, so Christopher Lee's in it, and that's the best part of it. This is very much, well, it's sort of like The Nutty Professor, both the Jerry Lewis and the Eddie Murphy one, right? Where when the Nutty Professor takes the potion or whatever, he becomes Buddy Love, who's like a really charming guy. And this is much more like sort of that school of thought, except in the original London society time that the story originally takes place. So he becomes a charming society guy who's like a cad or whatever. I don't know. It was kind of boring. But it looked amazing because it was like Hammer horror. So anyway, that was this past week. Now, I know we're all eager to talk about The Thing, especially none so more as me, who is, again, not at all flying by the seat of my pants and just, you know, getting this thing, just making sure we do a chat, that we chat about the movie today. But, as is tradition on the solo episodes, when we are doing a solo stream, we do the dulls. We do the movie dulls. That's right. Okay, Framed. Oh wait, this actually, I feel like I know. But it's a woman in prison, and she's the one or is she the one in prison, or is she the lawyer? I don't know. It kind of looks like maybe Zodiac. No. Is it Green Book? Okay, and it's not Zodiac. You're right, creme de la creme. I should never doubt my abilities to chat about good movies. I could do that forever. Closet arsonist built fire. This isn't Zodiac. It looks so much like it's Zodiac. Who are you? Oh! Hang on a second. No, it's not juror number 2. Because that looked like kind of like Nicholas Hoult. Or is it? And is that Viggo Mortensen? Because I guess Green Book too. God, I don't know this one. Oh, shit. Oh. Samara. Is that Rooney? Is that Rooney Mara? It looks like a Fincher. It's not girl with the dragon tattoo, is it? Because that's not her. Oh, Zac Efron. Is it called like Paperboy? What is it? The one where he pees on Nicole Kidman's leg? Okay. You know what? I fucking give up. I don't care anymore. What is it? Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and violent. This is a fucking Netflix movie. It's not a real movie. It's not a real movie if it's a Netflix-only movie. Okay? Frankenstein is in theaters right now. That's a real movie, even though they're only going to put it in there for 2 weeks. That's a real movie. This is a fucking fake movie. That's a fake movie. Okay. Box office game. This is for real movies that really came out in, November 1987. I'm fucked. I am fucked. November 1987. Sony TriStar first week, $8 million. Action, thriller, science fiction. Okay, okay. Oh. 1987. 1987 is, or is that later? It's not Total Recall. Who's Paul Michael Glazer? Oh. No, Predator is John McTiernan. Don't. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not looking at the chat. Nobody's saying anything. No, it's not Aliens because it's Arnold. I already guessed Total Recall. All right, give me tagline. The year is 2019. First. Oh, of course. Okay. Which, skeptical about this remake. We'll see. Okay. Oh, that wasn't great. I wish I had done tagline instead of director, because that would have given it to me. Okay, ninth week Paramount in November. Ninth week, it's on its way to like over 100 million. It's already made almost 100 million in 1988. Ooh, yeah. Or oh no, it's not. Greed is good. Fuck. I thought that was right. Jewel and Nile? No, I was gonna say, but Basic Instinct, isn't that like 1990? I'll still guess it. No. This is just gonna be. Did I guess Fatal Attraction? No. I think that might actually be it. Yeah, that was a huge hit. That was a huge hit. All right. Touchstone. Actually, I just watched a video about the history of Touchstone, so that should help me here. Shelley Long, Touchstone. Easy. No! What else did she fucking star in? Oh, this is some fucking weird movie. Jesus Christ, what? Okay, I don't know this. Wacky Sister. Hello Again. Of course we all know Hello Again. Okay, MGM. 6 weeks. It's been hanging in there, but it's only made 16 million. Starring Diane Keaton. And okay, this is going to be a Woody Allen. I'm guessing it's Hannah and her sisters, right? It's gotta be. No, what else? What else? I don't know any other fucking Woody Allen movies from the 80s, and I'm pretty sure it's not any other movie. Let me just... Oh, no, it's not a Woody Allen! That changes things. Okay. Well, this I don't fucking know. J.C. Wyatt, Corporate Powerhouse, just received an inheritance, and it sucks. Sam Shepard. Harold Ramis. Oh, Baby Boom. I haven't seen this, but I've seen the movie cover. I've seen the VHS tape. Alright, last one. Let's see, what is this? 4th week. It's just 2 million. TriStar. Share. Or is it Moonstruck? No, actually, 1987 is Moonstruck, isn't it? No. Mermaids. No. Oh. Witches of Eastwick? What the fuck? I've got so many Cher movies from the... Oh, I know so many Cher movies. This is not even right. Like, horrible. Snap out of it. Dennis Quaid and Cher? Peter Yates. She's a lawyer, Brooklyn. Oh, fuck, I don't fucking know this. Just fucking tell me what it is. Suspect, okay. Yeah, no, this was a horrible week. 1987. Oh, okay. Ooh, Passengers. Oh. Pratt to McGregor. Or Jennifer Lawrence to McGregor. Okay. Okay. Oh, well. Michael Sheen. And then we just need him in something with you and McGregor. I don't know what some of these are. Oh, Doolittle. Michael Sheen's not in Trainspotting, right? Let's start there. Let's start there. Michael Sheen, you're not in Trainspotting. No, he's definitely not. Okay. Laws of Attraction. Let's see. I mean, obviously I know he's in The Queen. Blood Diamond. I don't think that's getting us anywhere close to... I honestly wish I had a better grasp of all the people besides Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting. Alice Through the Looking Glass. Stab in the dark. We're trying to get to T2 Trainspotting. Let's go. One of you motherfuckers is in there. Is Andrew Scott in it? Is Richard Armitage? Oh, is Reese Ifans? No! I thought Reese Ifans was in Trainspotting. Oh, I fucked it. Ewan McGregor be in one of these movies. Okay, wait. The Boat That Rocked has one of these motherfuckers. Kenneth Branagh. No, not Rhys Darby. I fucked this so much. I don't know. Nick Frost. You were in something. Wait, isn't How to Train Your Dragon? Does Ewan McGregor do a voice in that? Does he do a voice in How to Train Your Dragon? That's the other thing, is the voices. You never know who's doing voices. Okay, you know what? And one of these guys is in there. Patty. "24 Hour Party People." Steve Coogan. I fucking give up. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Let's go the other way. All right. Johnny Lee Miller. Now there's someone. Okay, we're going the other way. Robert Carlyle. Okay, we are going to just go Ewan McGregor. I need to get to Michael Sheen, Jennifer Lawrence, or Chris Pratt. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it, Ewan. You and me. You and me. We're going to do this. Of course, Birds of Prey. No. Doctor Sleep. Sure. Christopher Robin. Beauty and the Beast. Force Awakens. He does a voice in The Force Awakens. That doesn't help me. Mordecai doesn't help me. Haywire. Okay. All right. Beauty and the Beast. Dan Stevens. Come on, Chris Pratt or Jennifer Lawrence. Come on, Chris Pratt or Jennifer Lawrence. Be in one of these. Or Michael Sheen. Or if we see a Michael Sheen. Okay, wait. Night at the Museum, Secret at the Tomb, Steve Coogan. Okay. Why did I have Steve Coogan? Why did I have him? What was the movie that I had Steve Coogan for? I have to get to Jennifer Lawrence or Chris Pratt. Oh, okay. Holmes and Watson, Will Ferrell, Lego Movie. Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. Lego Movie 2. We'll even go Lego Movie 2. Passengers. All right. Only 6 minutes, 20 seconds. The shortest possible was 2. It was through Michael Sheen! I have to know the cast of Kingdom of Heaven and Kevin McKidd. I knew it was through Michael Sheen, though. All right. Last one. The most fun part of the stream. Okay. By the way, I was watching, I don't watch Hassan, but I see his clips come in my feed a lot. And I was watching the clip of him reacting to the mayoral debate where they were talking about him, and he was reacting. And you know what he was drinking? One of these. One of my fave sodas. Dr. Pepper Blackberry. All right. Sebastian Stan, love. Tyrese Gibson, okay. And Josh Duhamel, okay. Well, this is obvious, but... That's obvious, but we're going to go with Win a Date with Tad Hamilton for the 3+ words in title. 33%. That's going to be the number one answer. Now, Sebastian Stan, 100 million plus. So here's what you do. You do one that he had a cameo in so that people don't remember it as much. Still 10%. Okay. Action or comedy. 3+ words in title. Because all I can think of is I, Tonya and The Apprentice. Which also isn't an action or comedy. I, Tanya's kind of a comedy. Obviously, there's lots of action in the Marvel movies. I meant to mute for that. Excuse me. But I kind of knew it was going to be a big one. I was going to be proud. Also, what other fucking... Like, the only Josh Duhamel movie I know of is Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. Isn't he also in the Transformers? I think he's in Transformers, too. He is. 53%. Okay, I'm clearing out the number one answers for Josh Duhamel. Tyrese like you have all the Fast and Furious, well, all but the first and third ones. So that's big. So here, actually, I am going to say Too Fast, Too Furious for 3+ words in title because it's just too funny of a name. And it's going to be the top answer. Action or comedy? Well, I don't really care anymore, man. Let's say Fate of the Furious. Fate of the Furious. Okay, 8%. Because, see, this is the thing. That it's spread. He spreads the love. Because you just go like, all right, well, what's one that maybe people won't think? Will they think Fast X? Yes. 21% of them, yes, will think of Fast X. Now, Sebastian Stan, 3+ words in title. It's gonna be. This is also going to be the. This is going to be the number one answer. Captain American. Captain American. The Winter Soldier. There we go. Guess that. Okay. Like, I really like him as an actor. He's in other movies. Besides The Apprentice and Marvel movies. And I, Tonya. I just can't think of any. Hopefully it counts as a comedy. Yes. Okay. I still got 11%. I'm just gonna say what it is. I want this to be over. I'm gonna say it again. Oh, I can't guess the same movie twice. Great. Oh well, he's in another Transformers, T2. Oh wait, Transformers. What's the second Transformers? I was just gonna say Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, all right, he's in it. I don't know what my score was on it, but okay. Most popular correct answer: Shotgun Wedding. Oh right, with J Lo. Okay, Transformers and When a Date with That Hamilton. We're the best. We're the top ones. Oh, Fate of the Furious was #1 for this one, but not. Okay, not this one, where I got a really good score on that. Okay, interesting. A Different Man. Okay, yeah. That would have been the #1 answer there. Thunderbolts, action comedy. Okay. The last full measure. Ant-Man, rarest correct answer. Ride Along 2, I Am Paul Walker. Oh, man. Okay, well, anyway. Folks, it's time to talk about the thing, I think. I think it's time to talk about the ultimate in alien terror. So we start. Actually, you know what? We start in 1938. Our story begins in 1938. Hell yeah, brother. You know you got that shit on. The story is called Who Goes There? It is first published in, and I actually I found a PDF of the original pulp, whatever. I didn't read through the story. I was thinking maybe I would, and then I didn't. It's not that long either. I easily could have. Because it's a novella. But Who Goes There? August 1938 issue of Astounding Science Fiction, which is like a little pulp magazine. And it was also printed as The Thing from Another World. And it was they also made a collection of stories by the author that it was printed under the name of the story, Who Goes There? And the central premise of this story is that A group of American researchers in Antarctica, as towards the end of winter, they discover an alien spaceship in the ice. And when they try to thaw inside of the spacecraft, they end up destroying it. And then they recover an alien creature from inside the ice, and they thaw it. But then what they find is that it can actually, the being can assume the appearance, memories, and personality of a living organism it devours, while maintaining its body mass for further reproduction. So that was the central premise of this story that came out in 1938. Very popular sci-fi story. Then in 1951 comes The Thing from Another World. This is directed by Howard Hawks. Or wait, no, Christian Nyby. But it was produced by Howard Hawks. But it's said to be mostly directed by, like, Christian Nyby was sort of Howard Hawks' assistant, and he basically asked for Howard Hawks' approval and everything. Now, Howard Hawks is a legend, one of the great film directors and producers and screenwriters of the golden age of Hollywood. Howard Hawks is, screwball comedies. He's great big epics. He did silent films into the sound era. He's the ultimate legend of legend. He's in fact, here, let's look at the other films of Mr. Howard Hawks here. So these are his films as producer, but his films as director: Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, His Girl Friday, Bringing Up Baby, The Big Sleep, Rio Bravo, Scarface, an amazing the original Scarface is fucking awesome. To Have and Have Not, Red River, Only Angels Have Wings, like Monkey Business. Like, he does like every kind of great big movie, and this was a big sci-fi movie when sci-fi was becoming more and more of a thing. This was the most successful sci-fi of the year. Sci-fi film, I should say, and this was the same year that The Day the Earth Stood Still came out, so that's no slouch on the part of The Thing from Another World. But the thing about The Thing from Another World is it dispenses with the central premise of the story. It completely erases the whole thing about the alien can assume the form of other humans and imitate them. And that's the whole paranoia of the story and sort of everything about it. What it does instead is it makes the alien a being that they can't kill with bullets, basically. That's the big difference. It's like a humanoid being that is, I think it is sort of said to be taking on a humanoid form, that it can sort of, but it's not really, it doesn't do any imitating or being other things, and it is this big sort of Frankenstein-looking monster, or Frankenstein's monster-looking monster, I should say. It's a cool design, actually. I want to show what he looks like. I think he looks cool. I really like how the thing looks. I will say, so, to reveal my biases, because I am biased in all things, I love 50s science fiction. I've especially been getting more into it. I really love The Twilight Zone is, like, maybe my favorite show. And I don't like every episode, but, like, I love, there's something about just, like, the telling of a story in that short little format. I've also been getting really into Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is all on Amazon Prime, which sucks because they fucking make you watch commercials, but they're really, really, really great little dramas. So watching this movie, it really feels in the mode of it like could have been a Twilight Zone episode. Granted, it came 8 or 7 or 8 years before the Twilight Zone TV show premiered. That premiered in 59, or I think 60 even. It's much more from that school of early science fiction, of people very intensely talking in rooms, and there are some actually really well done action sequences. There's a really, really cool like use of fire. It was actually a very early, like, example of setting someone on fire, like for real, with a fire suit and all that. So there's lots of really cool stuff in it. But if you're somebody that loves The Thing from 1982, John Carpenter's masterpiece, and you go back and watch that, you're like, this shit is boring. The other big difference is that there's women in it. Actually, a couple of ladies at the station, but mostly it's, you know, intense talking and planning, and then the big thing with it is that they fire bullets at this thing and it does nothing, and it's because it's like it's almost closer to a vegetable, I think is how they describe it, in its sort of like cellular structure, in that like it doesn't die when you shoot it, it just like adapts and like just keeps going or whatever. And so they discover that it can be burned and it can be electrocuted, so it's then all a bunch of setting traps to try to electrocute and you know, burn this thing. But they also dig it out of the ice, and there's some really amazing shots of them all like around this huge chunk of ice and like you know, just kind of grokking at it or whatever. Hey Grok, is this true? And it's a really, I think, a very, very cool movie. But yeah, it's not, looking at it today in 2025, I'd actually say that like this movie is greatly helped by the Carpenter remake in keeping it alive. And that's what we're talking about this month. All month is the remaking of it all. The Remaketober. Now, John Carpenter's 1982 The Thing wasn't a direct remake of this movie, but John Carpenter was a huge fan of this movie. He was reverential to this movie, and in some ways, he has been a past whatever you call it theme for a blank check miniseries. John Carpenter has, and I think this is an early example of a blank check, because, you know, Halloween was a huge runaway success. The Fog wasn't a huge success, but it was also a small budget, and I think it did well enough. And then Escape from New York also did very, very well against its minuscule budget. And so this was like, okay, this is the big new horror sci-fi director. And that's why his name is above the title in the trailer, in the, you know, that this was his, well, it was his, if we're counting Dark Star, and we should definitely count Assault on Precinct 13, then this was his 6th movie. And in terms of like widely seen films, this would have been like his 4th. And he wanted to be much more faithful to the original concept. He wanted to actually adapt the original story as it is. And yeah, it does just make for a more dramatically satisfying movie in so many ways. But what was shocking about it at the time was just the what we love about it now, and especially why we go back to it and love it so much, is just the sheer amount of disgusting practical effects and just the commitment to these wild, unbelievable sights of bodies morphing, literally, and like becoming these monstrosities in front of your eyes as a real, tangible, physical thing. No CG whatsoever. Besides, Kurt Russell's chess game in the beginning. I did like, I think it was on Go F Kings recently. No, it was actually the most recent YKS when they were talking about The Thing, and how they're like, he pours his beer all over the computer right at the beginning for losing the chess game, and it's like, they're in fucking Antarctica. It's hard to get a computer out there, and it's like, it's the early 80s, and computers aren't cheap, and just pouring the beer. Anyway, fun group of guys out there, I gotta say. That was like one of the coolest things rewatching it this time, is I was like, this is like a hellish thing to think about, of just months on end with like the same group of like 10 guys or however many, even less than that. And even though a lot of them seem like solid dudes, they're all smoking weed and drinking beers. Like, they seem like chill guys for the most part. Wilford Brimley seems cool. You know, it's going to get monotonous over the course of the winter. But then the excitement comes in the form of this dog that comes running into camp. And then all of a sudden these, like, are they Russian or Swedish guys? I forget that are chasing, or Norwegian, I think, actually. They're supposed to be Norwegian researchers from a neighboring base far by that are like trying to kill the dog, and then a whole firefight ensues, and that's where it all kind of comes from, and they explore from there. That's really kind of like another one of the big innovations in this story is that like they don't initially find the UFO. Like, the UFO doesn't land through them, and they're speaking Swedish, chef Norwegian. Orky porky. It's not the UFO landing directly like in their sight or like right in their backyard. It is, this thing has already ravaged another base, and later we go when we look through it and we see sort of the wreckage and all of that. But it starts like already kind of coming in and invading, which is awesome. And again, I think sort of Carpenter's little tip of the hat almost, even though it's meant, they make it as this foreign base, you can also sort of see it as like, this is the next chapter. Like, you know, the thing escapes from the first, where the initial discovery of the alien creature was, and now it's taken the form of this dog, and it's moving on to take over and take out this station. Hey guys, something about this movie. Anybody get Among Us vibes from this movie? That was me. I'm kind of getting Among Us vibes from the thing. I just heard Abby laugh in the other room, so I know that's funny. Anyway, Kurt fucking Russell. You know, he plays McCready, a legendary character. I thought I heard you laugh when I said the thing. Never mind. I guess you didn't laugh. I heard something else. I heard myself laugh, delayed. Oh, wow. Okay, thank you for letting me know you don't find me funny. Thank you for confirming that in the chat, coming in here and saying that. I appreciate it. Kurt Russell gets together with John Carpenter at a really interesting time in his career. He is coming off of being like... I just remembered a very, very funny part of Kurt Russell lore is why I started laughing. Kurt Russell was a big teen star, especially in the late 60s into the 70s, specifically for Disney and in Disney films. He was being like the computer wore tennis shoes or whatever, I think might have been him. And he's doing like these, and this is also a low point for Disney. Like, Disney in the 70s is on the downslope. They bottom out in the early 80s, and then Michael Eisner turns everything around, and he's, we love and celebrate Michael Eisner and everything he did. But Kurt Russell is stuck in this sort of mode, and then John Carpenter is like, well, hey, you want to be in my movie Escape from New York? And that's when he sort of is like, that's when he first does that action movie, Kurt Russell, that now we see him as. But the alternate path for Kurt Russell was staying in the Disney mode, staying Disney man, because, do you people know this? Does anybody know what Walt Disney's dying words supposedly were? Anybody in the chat? Sound off if you've ever heard this. His dying words were about how Kurt Russell is the future. Kurt Russell is the future of this company. Something to the effect. I smoked weed with John Carpenter. No, that would have changed everything for Walt. No way. Walt, there's like, absolutely, I can believe Walt did a lot of bad crazy shit. That's the one thing I would never believe Walt ever did, was smoke a single hit of marijuana. He's way too square. Way, way, way too square. He smoked like a chimney. But, anyway. So Kurt Russell gets saved by John Carpenter to make cool movies. And so, you know, Escape from New York was the first time at bat. Killed it. Snake Plissken, come on. He's so good in selling what that movie's doing. And I mean, Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, like the three movies they make together, you know, because you got The Thing, and then of course, Big Trouble in Little China, are just dynamite. All three of those are just so fun. Oh, I guess Escape from LA. Sorry, 4. They just have a great time together. Carp and Kurt Russell, you know, you just really get the sense that they're just having a great old time making this movie. But John Carpenter's coming off of, he had just did this trio of films that I keep talking about for a really small company. This is now a big studio giving him the keys to this huge remake. And he's like, okay, I'm going to make it really scary. I want to make like a real monster movie. And I want to like special effects, what were, you know, visual effects then, the practical visual effects had come so far. They really had. I mean, like what you could do. Yeah, I mean, when Kurt is just cracking up alongside John, like that's all you need to know. Like, I mean, he just seems like a chill vibes guy. Like anytime that he and Goldie Hawn like post a Instagram of them just like chilling out, they look like they're pretty like a little loaded, like kind of drunk, maybe high, in their backyard or wherever they're at, like vacation, and they're just like, yeah, just loving life. I'm like, damn, he got it all figured out, man. Like he doesn't have the fucking awards, he doesn't have that shit, but who cares? Like, who cares? He made movies people love and watch a million times, and this is like maybe the best example of it. I mean, and then you also got like Tombstone, a whole bunch of Kurt Russell movies. But the thing is, John Carpenter really taking that full swing. Like this is him being like, we're gonna push it forward, we're gonna make some disgusting shit, and we're gonna be true to the story of the original and make it really about that suspicion and that paranoia. And like you could have done the very heady approach while keeping that, right? Like you could have made it like most of the gross transformation stuff is off screen and it's in your head, and what you're imagining is more horrifying. And that's probably the movie that like Roger Ebert at that time, I think Roger Ebert eventually grew to go back on what he originally said about, or maybe he just became a little desensitized to the gore over the years from other crap, so he grew to like it more. But I think that would have satisfied the critics more at the time if he had taken the approach of it's a very heady sci-fi, and like that's sort of what I played the Siskel and Ebert clip from when they reviewed this on their show before they even had the thumb scale. They would just say yes or no, do you recommend it? It was the same thing, but they didn't do the thumb thing yet. And Gene said yes to recommend it. Gene sometimes is right and Roger's wrong. They're actually like, they have about an equal batting average, the two of them, like when they're being right and when they're being a shithead. You never really know who's gonna be on what side. But we love Siskel and Ebert for the discourse, for them discussing their different takes, and I think that's great, and that's something we really miss, and what I try to bring on this show when I have a guest, but it's fine. Tomorrow with Hal, we're gonna get into it. But this movie was released, and it was people like talking about getting sick watching it, and it didn't do well in the box office. It didn't do well critically. It's seen as a huge bomb. In fact, there's a funny story that keeps going around. God, somebody just like retold the story, so now I'm like third hand telling it. But it's a story that originally Guillermo del Toro told of when he met John Carpenter, and Guillermo del Toro was effusive and like fanboying out to him about how much he loved The Thing and how much The Thing meant to him and how it shaped his entire artistic viewpoint, and it's the most influential film on everything that he does, and it's in everything, and blah 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 blah. And John Carpenter kind of just like sits like this. The Thing? He's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't make any money on that. Fuck that movie. He's just, because that's our guy. That's our guy, John Carpenter. He likes when his movies. I mean, I think he plays it up a bit. The cynical. I like the money that I make from it, and I think that is also a measure of. He likes when the movie connects. He likes when the people are like, fuck yeah, this guy in this weird William Shatner mask is just stabbing people for no reason because he saw his sister naked when he was a boy. Hell yeah. Or like, when his movies like connect, that's like so great. I mean, you're right, it didn't need to be so graphic, but I think that the reason that it is, or that it goes to that so often, is because that just deepens the terror that they feel for each other. Like, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, what you have in your brain about how it's transforming or whatever is really terrifying, and that's all well and good. But if they actually show you... oh yes, you're right. That's what it was, Creme. Yes, Creme de la Creme got it. That was Brendan James telling that story on the Prince of Darkness episode of YKS. Yes, which makes sense. Knowing, because it keeps getting more and more gross too, right? It starts with the dog, and that is gross. I mean, it's really gross. Like it's like if that was the only thing, like if they built with a bunch of stuff happening off screen and like and then that was like the final scare was the dog, like it was like that level of something, that would have been enough. Like that could have been like enough gore and scariness for everyone. And that's where they start, and they keep getting more freaky, and so you still have the thing where you still have the thing where your brain is filling in, oh god, the dog flowering into a really really great like when you score the end of a hot dog and then it goes like so the dog opens up, that actually seeing the gore and seeing that you don't know what it can even do, what it can do next, and it keeps getting more and more extreme and more horrifying, so that when it ends up with, Kurt Russell sitting across from Keith David, and they don't trust each other, and who's who, and, are they who they say they are? It's not like you viscerally get that paranoia, because, like, of course you don't want that person to go, like, yeah, I mean... Because not only will they devour you, but then they're on to the next. Then they're on to, conquer the world. So, like this dog that came here. And that is... And then all of this fucked up horror we saw is, I think... That's the case, I think, for going as graphic as it does. Also, this is something that my horror... Okay, enjoy your dinner. I hope it's delicious. This is something my horror-loving wife has grown my appreciation of, because this is something she really loves, is when something is just, like, so disgusting, so viscerally upsetting that it's beautiful, that it crosses the line to being art. Like, it's like... I just rewatched Hellraiser this week, actually, too. I had on Hellraiser last week. And that's, I think, does a similar thing of, the dog had been around hanging out with everybody, hanging out with Richard Mazer and stuff, and he's acting all weird. But these movies that push the boundaries of, you know, you could say good taste or whatever, so far that you are left like having to like it overwhelms you that you have to appreciate it. You have to, and again, when you're talking about the ultimate and alien terror, that this like great source of just unimaginable, you know, Lovecraftian, like disgusting force, like, you know, you're powerless against that. Like, you are, it's great. I mean, like, The Thing is The Thing. It's wonderful. Like, you just say, like, people that love it, and they're just like, yeah, The Thing. I'm like, yeah, you know, The Thing. And I talk to people that haven't seen, like, you know, I haven't seen it. And I'm like, you really just need to see it. And I'm like, it's the practical effects in The Thing are just some of the coolest stuff ever captured on film. And then the movie's really good on top of it. It's like incredibly acted. I mean, these actors, obviously Kurt Russell we talked a lot about, but Keith David, Juilliard trained Keith David, in my two favorite Carpenter movies. I mean, They Live is actually my favorite Carpenter movie. And the Keith David and Roddy Piper fight in They Live, I mean, it's just like, wow. The Thing 2011, I've only seen once, and I liked it. And I liked that it did the prequel thing, and that it was about, you know, before... Oh, you hated it? I mean, I remember liking it because it wasn't trying to remake The Thing. It was... Yeah, I mean, I also didn't love it. Like, I also wasn't like, ooh, wow, that's such a great follow-up or whatever, which is always sort of like what ends up kind of happening with a lot of these. Like, most of the, as we talk about Remaketober and the great remakes, the remakes that are actually good, where the original's good and the remake's good, the reason that that's becoming a rarer and rarer beast these days is because people aren't actually excited about making the movie its own great movie. The movie is an extension of the IP to keep the franchise alive and to keep people buying the original movie and, you know, selling t-shirts or whatever. But for a lot of these horror movies, like, you know, John Carpenter loved the original film. He the way that they do the credits with the text like fading in and out or whatever, that is copied from that's an homage to the original. He also actually put The Thing from Another World in Halloween. They're watching. I think Jamie Lee Curtis and the boy are watching The Thing from Another World on TV. She's babysitting him. So it's a very important movie to him, and he really wanted to make an all-timer with this, and he did. He unambiguously did. This movie looms so much larger than the original, but as I watched the original, I also was able to put myself in the headspace of especially a movie critic, somebody that would have watched a lot of movies, or people that were in 1982 loved the original from 30 years before and grew up on it, watched it on Saturday afternoons or whatever, and, you know, went to the theater to see it. And then they see this, and it's this upsettingly disgusting, bloody, messy, shit. Yeah, I can get how that was a bit extreme at the time, but I also think it was you kind of need somebody to take that extreme step, and history's proven him right, man. The guy knew what he was doing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they didn't really have a sense of the ending the whole time, and then they just kind of got to a point where it's what else can we do? But Yeah, writing. Yeah, so he was working from another, like, a treatment of the script that they already had, and he hated the script that they gave to him, and so he kind of just, like, threw it out and sort of started over again. And yeah, at one point, so for the remake, they were trying to get oh wait, no, never mind, there's someone else. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about not having the ending written when they went into casting, but I mean, I don't doubt that they were figuring stuff out, like, out there. But the other thing about the movie is it does look, and like, not just the effects, but the setting, you know, in the day, at night, it just looks amazing. Also, we haven't talked about Wilford Brimley yet. I mean, just one of his iconic performances. Him, when they go, and this I know was Stefan talking about it on Go Off Kings, was when they, like, go back, they've locked him in the shack, and they go back to him in there, and he's like, no, I'm fine, I've settled down, I'm all right. And there's a noose hanging by, like, right behind his head. It's just like, I'm good, I'm not the Thing, don't worry. Something that also always hangs in my head is that we don't know what happens with Knowles at the end of the movie, the cook, who like, just kind of disappears. So, I mean, yeah. And like, maybe that's part of the ambiguity of the whole thing, is like, we don't even know where he is at the end. And it's Kurt Russell and Keith David. And the possibility, you know, that one is the Thing and one isn't. But there's also the possibility that neither one is the Thing. And I like to think about that too. That they just are going to be left with this paranoia of each other. And they could both be, you know, on the same side or whatever. Maybe they actually have completely eradicated it then. Or Knowles is still out there and there's still a thing running around that's going to grab Knowles or something. Like, it's so unsettled. And again, what, you know, you've had these, like, real visceral, like, decisions of, of, like, just presentations throughout this whole movie, and then it's like, and did they defeat it even? I don't know. Is it still out there? Is it running around? Like, that is the kind of horror ending of, like, that, of doing a satisfying and totally ambiguous ending. And that's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. Yeah. Right, like, they show you these horrific transformation moments of, like, you know, biting his hands and then the head lopping off and becoming a spider and climbing up on the walls and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, they don't show you everything. They don't fill in every gap. They don't show a thing, you know, consuming or becoming another person and then, like, reassembling itself and being like, okay, now I'm normal. Yeah, it doesn't, like, fill in all the gaps. You're left with so many questions of, when did this person even get infected? How do you know they are or aren't? Like, it's, yeah. Like, it's a crazy thing. And also, the actors are just across the board fantastic at selling it too, both selling the terror at what's happening and those sort of transformation moments. I mean, I don't know. It's a really fucking good movie. Like, I guess I was worried about talking about this, but, like, I mean, because I hadn't, you know, done as much prep as I sometimes do. But I could fucking talk about The Thing and why it's great for forever. But I do have to stream for at least 3 hours tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I talked a bit about how it bombs. Yeah, I did say it bombed. It didn't do well. But it absolutely is considered a classic now. Wait, let's see real quick what the actual figures were for... Okay. film earned $3.1 million in the opening weekend. So it wasn't a total failure because in the end it earned a total of $19.6 million against its $15 million budget. So marketing costs, it probably lost a little bit of money, but then they made it up, I'm sure, in home video wasn't a big thing yet, but that was becoming more and more of a thing. And so over time, I bet it didn't take long for the movie to become profitable, but it wasn't a huge hit. It certainly critically was not well reviewed on release. A few people got it, but even like Gene Siskel, who got what they were doing with the paranoia, really loved that aspect of it, was like, I wish it was less disgusting. So I do wonder if I actually do wonder if it would bomb today. I would hope that it would do a lot better today. But also I don't see how it gets made like this. It wouldn't get made like this with the practical, for sure. I mean, it would have to be like its own independent, totally thing. And again, this was a studio film. This was a studio funding it and everything. Oh, interesting. The AIDS epidemic would have been like just starting too. So that's really interesting to think about. Again, because so much was unknown about the thing. Just like they didn't know anything about this disease that was killing all these young men in New York or whatever. And so that's interesting to think about. I mean, I think it's broadly applicable to all things. It's also, well, the original film was very much playing in Cold War hysteria, was what that was about. Or at least, and even the original story to some degree, although that would have been pre-Cold War. But, you know, it was the rise of 1938 would have been, you know, very much Nazis' rise and sort of the world on the brink of going back into World War. So you can sort of see that's where that came from. Then the movie is very much Cold War. And then, you know, Cold War is still a going concern here in 1982. So that's also definitely partially at play here as well. But yeah, I mean, the thing is good. Controversial statement. Good movie. Yeah, watching it for the first time in COVID, yeah, that's gonna fuck with you a little bit. But man, oh wow, holy shit! Sorry. I'm looking at the accolades here, and I'm seeing that the film was nominated at the Razzie Awards for Worst Musical Score. Now, this film, I haven't mentioned this yet. Most of his films, or at least the majority of his films, Carpenter scores himself. This one, he has a guy named Ennio Morricone from the fucking spaghetti westerns, Sergio Leone movies. Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More is his best score. In the Razzie Awards in their second year. So their first year, the Razzies say, okay, worst picture or worst actress, Shelley Duvall in The Shining. She wins. Worst actress. They had to like take it back because she was traumatized by Stanley Kubrick, and that's why. No, you were fucking idiots. This is a brilliant performance. Pieces of shit. They couldn't stand to have a woman showing emotions, and she needed to be like strong and steely and really fighting back. She couldn't actually be scared of her abusive husband. That makes her bad as a character and as a portrayal. It's bad to feel her visceral terror. It made them uncomfortable. So yeah. Sorry, I'm still mad. I was just talking about The Shining a few weeks ago, and I'm still not over it. But the thing, I think I'm just about ready to close the book on it. If anybody, sound off in the chat if you have anything else that I've overlooked or we need to talk about. R.I.P. Shelley. Shelley from what? Who was I talking about? Who's Shelley? Oh, Duvall. Yeah, sure. All right, yeah. From last year. Yeah. No, Shelley Duvall is Queen. Actually, something I did want to talk about on the Shining episode. This is a bit of... I meant to say something about this, which I always have. It hits me like an hour or two after the stream. I'm like, fuck, I meant to talk about this. It was another element of a reason why I think that Shelley Duvall had such a bad time on The Shining. And she wasn't fully traumatized. She didn't, like, people overstate the degree to which, I mean, and I'm not saying that Kubrick was a gentleman and treated her really well, but the degrees to which, like, people put a full traumatization on her off of that is a bit of a overstating things in her words and experiences. But I do think what was tough about it was she was not like a seasoned actress. She had been in several films, all directed by Robert Altman, who discovered her as a tour guide when he was making Brewster McCloud, and basically had her play herself in that movie, and she's fucking amazing. And then just kept putting her in his movies, and Three Women especially is like her best work in a movie. And Robert Altman runs his sets like a big old family vacation. Like, we're making a movie. It's going to take us, 6 weeks or whatever, and everybody come and watch dailies, and we all go and going to have dinner and lunch together, and it's all a good old time, and like, that's great. And then I think she goes to like the very cold Stanley Kubrick school, and that probably made it probably compounded things. I just think that was another bit that probably made it a really, really, especially rough on her making that movie. But she's, again, brilliant in it. I can't say enough about Shelley Duvall in The Shining. So much so that I've spent a lot of time on the thing talking about that. Oh, yeah. I mean, her olive oil. Well, like, if nothing else, her olive oil gives us the beautiful musical motif of Punch Drunk Love. We don't have her as olive oil. We don't have the part of what makes the Punch Drunk Love such a beautiful experience. We love PTA. We love Robert Altman. We love John Carpenter. We love movies. So come by tomorrow and hang out with me and Howell, watching some fun things. Next week, just secured the guest. Really excited. The movies will be Little Shop of Horrors, the Roger Corman original, and of course, the movie musical, one of my top 10 movie musicals. Yeah, no, that makes you problematic. That's actually a red flag in my Tinder dating. Oh my god, all these guys, their favorite movie is The Thing. Oh my god, yes. Only movies that don't pass the Bechdel test. Anyway, so next week, Little Shop of Horrors, the Roger Corman original, and the musical, which I love so much. And my guest will be return guest Jane Ost from the Batting Around podcast, and from being one of the all-time great posters. We love Jane on this stream, so that'll be really, really fun. Yes, Ryusuke. Oh my god, yes, Eggpunk. He's my favorite, like, of this generation of directors. Like, not living directors, when you have, like, Martin Scorsese alive, and I think that, like, Paul Thomas Anderson is, like, a generation, like, before. So I think of his generation, Ryusuke worldwide is the best director, for my money. Love Ryusuke Hamaguchi. So yeah, look forward to that next week. That'll be a really, really fun show, and I'll also have another Vincent Price marathon next weekend. So this month has been so much fun. And just around the corner, we got Franchise Fest, which will be the last 2 months of this year, and oh boy, Travels is working on the art for Franchise Fest, and I could not be more excited. Oh, Eggpunk, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Yes, we got to have one of my thing alerts go off. Woo! Yes. What a win. Thank you so much, Eggpunk. Thanks for your follow. Yeah, we needed you to do that, so I appreciate it. Yeah, so if you know where to find me, my socials up here. And yeah, I hope everybody had a great time. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you later. Goodbye. Toronto, Cannes, Berlin, and Sundance, everybody chat about. Good movies, chat about. Good movies, chat about. Good movies. Good movies. Good movies.